Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is the Oasis Pond. I've called it the Oasis Pond as it's a nice tranquil part of the garden away from traffic off the road. So I've got 4 goldfish in there. I unfortunately did lose 2 in the winter, so obviously they're doing quite well. They seem a bit skittish at the moment because maybe there has been some predators coming into the pond trying to eat them. So obviously there's a fish cave there that I built underneath that bog area there. Got lots of plants, filtration, but we have a problem, and that problem is string algae. There's a lot of it, and we need to do something about this. Now I have one of these Simply Fish Spillway boxes. If we just take that stone out and I'll show you what's in there. It's just a small sponge, and it's quite small surface area, and to be honest with you, I don't think this is good enough to clean the pond. We've got a little bit of lava rock in there, but I just don't think this is capable of filtering the pond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this spillway box to this. This is an Aquascape DIY spillway system. So you get a coarse sponge. There's a top mounting plate that allows water to filter up, and obviously it's significantly sizable. So if we can compare that sponge to this one, keep in mind that when you originally get the Simply Fish Spillway, it only comes with that. So it's at least 4 times bigger in terms of surface area. And on top of that, instead of a few bits of lava rock, I will have a big bag that we will pop in. And this is an 8-inch spillway versus, I think that might be just 4-inch, 19 centimeters. So in this spillway, it's going to have more surface area and be able to pump quite a lot of water in here for filtration, and it'll take longer to filter through the rock rather than the small one that we've got here, where there's very little surface area there. So this should filter the pond a lot better, and hopefully that will combat the string algae I've got in this pond. You know, there isn't a lot of fish waste in there. There's only 4 goldfish, and there's probably about 350 litres. We've got lots of plants that deal with the ammonia. We've got the bog area there. We've got the fibre optic plant, various irises and different types of plants, I think, and lots of grasses as well. And I just think this pond needs a serious upgrade. Now, I'm not happy with the waterfall that I built. It might be a bit of overkill in terms of the size, and we may have a leak in the pond waterfall system. So let me just swing you around. So here is the waterfall that I've built, and I just think we're getting a lot of spillage over the sides where the liner is, and I'm going to rebuild that, make it a tiny bit smaller, and we're going to employ the Aquascape Spillway DIY filter. Hopefully this will give us a significant better filtration. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of these rocks. I've rocked in a lot of it. They are big and heavy, and it's going to be a lot of work to deconstruct this, but we need to do that in order to get started with employing the filter, which will go at the back and filter some water into the pond naturally. But this is just a quick demonstration to show you where I'm at the moment. Obviously we've got goldfish in, and I may have to clean out the pond as well before we get this all running. But today is all about deconstructing this waterfall that I've built. So I'm trying to renovate this waterfall system to try and figure out why it's leaking. So I've pulled back all the rocks and the stones, to get an idea what's going on. We're getting a lot of splatter from the waterfall. I've just put the spillway box on the top there just to simulate the waterfall, to figure out where I'm losing water. Now, while we're getting a bit of splash at the section there, I've just pointed out, it's not a major deal. However, there I think we've got a problem, where near the wall and the back of that stone. So let's just have a closer look. So here I've come to the back of the waterfall, and as you can see here, we've got some water coming down here into this area. Now I've got like a bit of line that goes around like that, and if we look over here, we actually get some water coming over there. If we just move this in here just to simulate what's going on. As you can see here, eventually we're getting water that's coming out of the actual liner into the ground. So that's where we're losing our water, around here. So, you know, as you can see, even if we put that back there, and it's not exaggerated as much, you're still getting some water coming down, going around there and down, and leaking on the outside of the liner. So, in retrospect, what we need to do really is probably put a bit more liner down really, and I also want to make it a bit wider over there in more of a pooling area, just to make this more of a bigger stream into the little pond, as I call it, the oasis. So I'm also going to replace this spillway box because it's too small, it doesn't give that much filtration. But as you can see, they're getting quite a bit of leakage going down the sides, and all these stupid weeds are in the way. You know, that you can see their water is actually leaking into the ground. Hello guys, welcome to a new pond update. This is based on my small oasis pond. That's what I've named it. I'm basically ripping out the old waterfall because it was leaking, and we're rebuilding it. So obviously you can see I've got my pond behind me there, and obviously we've got our waterfall system over there. And I'll just show you what I've done in the past couple of days. We're getting there. This is almost finished. It's a pain in the butt having to rip out a waterfall, especially with large rocks that weigh at least 30 kilograms. So I just thought I'd say hello, show you what I've been up to, and I'll see you in the next update. So I'm trying to renovate this waterfall system to try and figure out why it's leaking. So I've pulled back all the rocks and the stones to get an idea what's going on. We're getting a lot of splatter from the waterfall. I've just put the spillway box on the top there just to simulate the waterfall, to figure out where I'm losing water. Now, while we're getting a bit of splash at the section there, I've just pointed out, it's not a major deal. However, there I think we've got a problem, where near the wall and the back of that stone. So let's just have a closer look. As you can see here, eventually we're getting water that's coming out of the actual liner into the ground. So that's where we're losing our water, around here. So, you know, as you can see, even if we put that back there, and it's not exaggerated as much, you're still getting some water coming down, going around there and down, and leaking on the outside of the liner. So in retrospect, what we need to do really is probably put a bit more liner down really, and I also want to make it a bit wider over there in more of a pooling area, just to make this more of a bigger stream into the little pond, as I call it, the oasis. So I'm also going to replace this spillway box because it's too small, it doesn't give that much filtration. But as you can see, they're getting quite a bit of leakage going down the sides, and all these stupid weeds are in the way. You know, that you can see their water is actually leaking into the ground. Okay, that's where we're at. We've dug it out a bit in order to put our liner more into the space we've dug out. I've dug a hole. Here's a closer look of the hole that I've dug. This is where the wetland filter was, where we had lots of gravel and some plants actually living in the gravel itself with no soil. I've dug a bigger area there for the spillway box that we've got, the Aquascape one, the DIY one. That's 12-inch wide, not as wide as the 15-inch Biofalls 1000, and it has its own spillway, so you don't have to connect a liner to it. I still need to figure out how we're going to marry that with the liner when we put it in, but I'm thinking that we're alright there to put the Biofalls filter in there, not the Biofalls, the DIY one, sorry. And we've expanded the hole a bit more, so just wanted to give you an idea where I'm at. And what I wanted to do is literally have the filter there, comes down there, goes over some rocks, down into there, maybe flows a little bit here a little as well, goes back there and down into the pond. As you can see my fish there, they're happily out and about, even though it is around 10 degrees, quite cold, but I put some food in there. If we zoom in, have a look. You can see my fish swimming about. There's quite a lot of algae in there, and that's the main reason why I need to do this, to sort this out, because we've got a lot of algae in the pond. I just wanted to show you how much string algae is actually in there. And obviously I don't know if you can see at the bottom, but there's a lot there as well as on the actual pump itself. So and that's more or less why we're doing this, to sort out this issue. So hopefully this is informative. So as you can see guys, I've expanded the hole a little bit more. Obviously there's a little bit area there where it obviously will go over into the pond. And then I've dug a hole here for the actual filter box. As you can see, that's more or less gives you an idea on how it will work. So obviously it will flow from there onto a big stone that will cantilever over this area, flowing into the wetland filter, which will have gravel in, lift up over here and into the pond. So hopefully that gives you an idea on how this is designed. Okay, I've just put the underlay in the lower area as well as the higher area. There's the Aquascape 12-inch spillway. We just got to put some underlay down and we'll be ready for the liner in this area. Okay, that's the liner gone in. We've shaped it roughly to how it needs to be. Obviously I need to show that a bit more. Essentially we want to overline it rather than underline it like I did before. So we should have enough here to get this waterfall set up and not leaking at all. Right guys, I just want to give you a bit of a tip really. If you're finding it really difficult to find a rock that will actually fit your pond waterfall that you're trying to build, don't be afraid of getting an angle grinder out and actually cutting the stone to size, because what we want is this to cantilever over the top of our spillway stone. Thought I'd give you a bit of an update where we're at with the pond build. Here we put the spillway stone down. We've got a framing rock to the right, and if I just peel back the liner, you can see I've built a retaining wall there, so that will retain the liner and the water will flow naturally this way. So I just wanted to show you where we're at. So let's get on with the rest of the build. So there we have the spillway set up, and as you can see, that cantilevering rock over the spillway stone looks great, and it will function really well when the water comes over and splashes down into the pond. But I just wanted to show you that Just got to wait for a bit of cement to go off and then it'll be solid, and it looks good. Okay, so I'm just showing you what we've done here as the light fades today. But I just wanted to show you the retaining wall that I've built here. The idea of this small retaining wall is so we can pop the liner up against it and it'll keep the liner in place, and we'll put some stones against the liner as well. But this is going to be our main spillway area here, over the stone into the pond, turn round, flow down this small narrow area here that we've got here into the pond. And that's the idea of what we're doing. So let's just move over here so you can see the pond. That's the pond. We've got our goldfish in there. We look over and you can see our spillway. Let's just zoom in there so you can see that. So you can see the spillway, the retaining wall, and we will have our Aquascape biofalls type DIY unit in there. So I just wanted to show you where we're at the moment. We're getting there in terms of the rebuild. So the main difference with this over the existing pond is the fact that we've extended the liner. We've had to rip out all the stone and put the liner right up against the wall there, so there's no chance of a water leak, and we'll just literally drop stones and some bark chippings on top of the actual liner and use the liner as a weed barrier as well. We've just got to tidy this up, put another spillway there that goes directly into the pond. But I just wanted to give you an idea where we're at. As we're losing light, I don't think there's anything more I can do today. I just need the cement to go off on the retaining wall, and I've put a little bit on the spillway and the two counter leaving framing rocks that we've got there. So I hope this was a bit informative today. We'll get on with the rest of it another day. So that's my waterfall. It's been built and set in place. I've just put a bit of gravel in the area that I've expanded a little bit, just to give you an idea of the wetland filtration area. Obviously we'll have some plants in there buried into the gravel, and that'll naturally flow into the pond. But I just wanted to show you where we're at the moment. We did get a lot of rain the other day, so it has sort of filled this pond up quite substantially. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going on. Okay guys, I thought I'd just show you where we're at the moment. I've created a small pooling area here where we've got a line. I'll just show you, there's like a little hump there. I've just put a bit of soil there and a few stones. And so basically the water will come down here, pool here, over here, and down into the main wetland filter area here. So essentially that's what we've done here. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update where we're at. Hopefully all water will pool in here, and I've folded the liner in such a way that we shouldn't hopefully get anything leaking up, and it should all flow down here. So hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea where we're at. You know, I've just put a bit of sand there to try and level this off a little bit so we can move it as much as we can over, and then essentially we've just got to disguise that with rocks, and this waterfall will be complete then. Forgot to mention, we've also got to find a large spillway stone for this area as well, so that's something else we need to do before we get this waterfall complete. So I've just sprayed the expanding foam into the crevices and the gaps there, and it's starting to expand a little bit, but when it's formed a bit of a skin we'll be able to push that in by hand. So as you can see, we've got plenty of string algae in the pond after emptying it out. So I'm just going to power wash all this stuff out before refilling it, ready for the waterfall construction and complete of the pond being completed. So So I just wanted to give you an idea where we're at in terms of the algae that's on there. We want to get rid of that. So I've put a bit more stone in the wetland area here, and I'm just having a look to see if this stone will act as a second waterfall into the pond. It's going underneath a lot of the actual stone there, but I think if we put some expanding foam underneath, that will solve that problem. We just need to see if it's a good possibility of doing this. And as you can see, it is filling the pond up there. And I just wanted to get an idea if it can do the job. So I think you get the gist of the idea here with the actual waterfall. We've got the Spillway Aquascape 12-inch DIY spillway that will put water over the top of that big stone, over that small flag into the wetland area where there's a lot of gravel, then over the top of that stone into the pond. So that's the idea, and it's taking shape. So I thought I'd show you what I've done over here. So what you can do is go to a local park and get some moss locally growing, and just take a little bit, don't take too much, and you can put it on your rocks like we've done here. And I just want to sort of disguise some of the foaming that I've done, but also it gives it a bit more of a natural look having all that moss on there. Not only that, it will help with taking some of the nutrients out of the water as well. So I've put the moss in there to give it a bit more of a natural look, as well as being more aesthetically pleasing. So I hope you like that. So on the waterfall, we've done a similar sort of thing, except in the crevices here I've foamed it in. I basically got a knife and cut some of the foam out that had gone solid, and I put some new foam in that's a bit tacky, as you can see, and then just squished the moss into it, because it will grow in the foam itself. So obviously I just wanted to give you a closer look at what we've done there. So as you can see, it can be quite pleasing to give your stone a bit more of a natural look, and it does make a big difference. I'll put some on the big spillway stone there. Hopefully the moss will take hold there and grow quite significantly, but it gives it more of a natural look. If we just come back a little bit and zoom out, as you can see, it gives it a bit of a natural look, but over time hopefully that moss will actually increase in size and get bigger, and will give it more of a wildlife natural look. And that's the idea really. When we do a waterfall, we want to make it look as natural as possible. As you can see, we've done some there in the pond as well. So we put a bit more moss around the stones. I put a bit of gravel down there. We've got some soil supporting the sides and the sides. Rocked it in a little bit there. Some more rocks going down like that. And then we've still got to sort out the spillway stone into the main pond. However, as you can see, it's coming along. We should be able to get this finished in another day. It's amazing how much time goes by when you're trying to do this. I've gone through a full day and I don't seem to have got that much done, but you know, it's just a work in progress, I guess. Anyway, this is the update. I think it'll be part 3 of this, so I just wanted to give you an idea where we're at. Let's just zoom in there so you can see the moss in our bog area. I wanted to get the moss on as soon as possible because I don't think it would last more than a day or so in a bag, because I went to a local park and picked this up. Anyway, hope this video was helpful. Wait for the next part when we'll probably have the big reveal. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hi guys and ladies, thank you for watching. So this is the renovation of my waterfall, and I've done a few extra bits with the pond as well. And this is the final reveal. This is part 4, and I thought I'd show you a few extra bits that I've been doing as well. But I think it looks nice. We've renovated it. We've used PVC pipe instead of the hose pipe for the pump. We used the Aquascape DIY Spillway as a filtration system. We put our fish back in, and it's looking really nice. I'm really pleased with it. I wasn't so sure about the actual how I would hide the actual spillway filter system, but I've got around that and it looks good. So without further ado, let's have a look how I've modified it and the big reveal at the end. Please stay tuned to the end so you can see that. And thanks for watching and watching these parts, and hopefully this will be inspiring for you guys to build your own pond. Right guys, I'm just doing a quick test. I've piped it up with some PVC piping, flexible pipe. I've attached it to a ball valve which is closed off. I've got the hose pipe running. I just wanted to get an idea of how the waterfall performs. So I've just put a hose pipe in there, and we're waiting to see how it performs on the waterfall. Apologies for the wind, it's extremely windy today, and it's not so warm as well, but I just want to see how it performs on the actual spillway into the actual pond itself. That's just a hose pipe test. I'm just having a look to see how it does. Obviously with a pump it will be a lot quicker and more powerful than that. You can see it's dripping into the mini pond as it is. So there you go. I've turned on the pump as well as we've got the hose pipe going, feeding water, and doesn't it look good? Look at that, proper waterfall. Yeah, not bad at all. Hi guys, so during this windy day you can see the Aquascape DIY filter system in operation there, but I'm just going to tell you how I've modified it a little bit. So obviously we've got the bag here with lava rock, we've got the plate that sits at the bottom of there, I have the coarse sponge that comes with it here, but then I'm going to put another coarse sponge. These are the ones you typically find for aquariums, and then a medium one there. So that's the modification I've done to this, just to give it a bit extra filtration, because I do think one sponge is a bit weak from Aquascape, especially when it costs like £100 for this thing. So that's what we're doing here, and I just wanted to show you how I'm modifying this filter system a little bit more. I'm just showing you quickly what I'm doing here. I'm creating a second waterfall here, and we're just raising some bricks of stone coming up. I've put foam in between all the stone to cement it together. We've put a little bit there where we're going to have our spillway stone on top. I'm just doing that to raise the water to go over the stone rather than under the stone, as you were seeing in the video before. So once we've done that, the water should go above the stone, not below it. We will lose some underneath, but not much. Right guys, I just wanted to give you another update on the pond. I just wanted to show you the second waterfall area that we've built. Here I've obviously foamed it in. As you can see, there's a little bit of foam visible, but I'll cover that up with stones. It was late at night, so I was losing light, so I wanted to get this done as quickly as possible. So we've put some moss in the actual foam around the circumference. What I've basically done is I've put foam and moulded it from the stone to the liner, so it should flow over the stone instead of underneath it like it was before. So that's where we're at here. I've put my little nice bridge there to give it a bit more more interest to the pond. And as you can see, going round, this is more or less how it is, and we're just in the process of rocking it in a bit more. I just wanted to show you what I've been doing with the rocking in stage. So as you can see, we've got our rocks here. Some of this moss is coming off, so I may need to remember to water it, because the tree is shallowing in this area a little bit. But obviously we've put some rocks going around the circumference of our filter box. I'm going to put a flag on top of that so it will hide it, and as you can see, just a little bit more rocking in that's necessary here, and a little bit in the pond itself. A little bit more rocking in inside the pond itself to hide the liner. As you can see, this area is coming along nicely. So that's where we're at. Let's get on finishing this project. I put a new pipe in, a PVC pipe instead of the hose pipe, which is a 25mm pipe. We put some moss on the rocks there. We've got our lily plants in there. I've put some extra irises along there, and we obviously got our plant baskets that we've had previously. Put that in. So let me just show you what we've done over here by the waterfall. So by the waterfall, I've put a new flagstone there, which cantilevers over a stone wall I've built within the pond. So moving on to the bog area, wetland filter that I've created here. Basically there's a lot of Scottish pebble, and we've got the fibre optic citrus plants, one there, one there, one there. Some other grass plants, and obviously beneficial bacteria will colonise in that area. And we've rocked in, and I have overlapped the liner like I didn't do previously. If you want to see that video, I'll put a link in the description box of the original waterfall construction. So in terms of the actual waterfall that we've got over here, as you can see there, we've got a flagstone that's cantilevering built up on a wall. I've used some mortar to set that in place, and I did cut down the I think it was about 30cm thick stone that I had for the main spillway. I just made it a bit smaller, and then I've put a rock over it, cantilevered over, and another rock there, and we've put some moss there as well. So moving on to the main filter area, we just move over here. That's over there underneath that flagstone that we've acquired. I have an Aquascape DIY spillway filter in there, and I've modified it with some extra sponges, and we've rocked in all the way around. There is a little pooling area there. I've put some foam under there as well to make the actual water spill over the big stone onto the small stone and then down into the pond. So this is the main construction of the redone waterfall. It looks a lot better. I've also put a little piece of flagstone in the actual spillway itself and hoping it'll go over it. If not, I may have to foam that in. But all in all, it's coming along. And if we just move over to the pond area, where the pond is starting to fill up, as you can see, it's coming to life, and we'll be ready to put the fish back in. So here we have some tap water treatment. This is just to make the water safe and remove the chlorine that's in here. So we just need to put in, I probably think about 30 mils would be sufficient for a small pond like this. So we just fill that up. Okay, that's our treatment gone in. So we've left our fish outside all night, so they should be quite well immaculated in terms of the water temperature. So all you need to do is put the fish in there and then give them their new home. Look at the net. Right, so I'm going to turn the pump on. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'd like to say I'm really impressed. It is working a treat. I'm loving it. Let me know in the comments what you think. But it looks fantastic. You know, we've got a nice pooling area here. You know, and it's quite deep really, and that is going to be fantastic for birds. So birds can perch on that stone there and drink water, or the smaller birds can get over onto the big spillway here into the pond and drink water from there. And you know, in terms of the moss, I was concerned it might all shoot into the pond, but it seems to be doing its job basically. And it's firm into that foam as well, so it's got something to grab hold of. obviously the plants are staying in place, and I'm really impressed. I'm loving it. So let me just show you more of the pond. Obviously, let's give you more of a bird's eye view of what's going on. Obviously you can see there's a bit of muck in the water, but that will clear up over time. So let's just pan back around and look at it in more detail. So let's just have a look at that spillway that I've built in a closer view. That's a closer look at it, and I do think it looks pretty nice. Moving up the stream, we have our little bridge. We have our plants in our wetland filter. It's basically a bog filter but with gravel. I've used Scottish pebbles, if you're wondering, because I didn't really want to damage the liner in any way, shape or form. We've got a large flag there that's underneath a large spillway stone. We've got some ironstone to the left where I actually cut into the stone a little bit so it would cantilever over this spillway stone. We've got some sandstone from a local quarry there. We zoom in a bit more here. Here you can see the spillway in action. I put a bit of flag underneath it so I would hide the line there that was like bumped over, that went over. As well as a little bit of sandstone on the top of the Aquascape spillway, and obviously we've got a flag covering it. And then obviously you've got stones rocked in to disguise it. And I wanted to try and disguise it because it is quite ugly. And I think it's well disguised. If you see there, you can't tell that it's an Aquascape spillway box is in operation there. So, you know, if we keep coming down, you can see we've got the moss there either side. Got the... Moving down the stream, I've got one of these ornament bridges that you can get for your fish tanks. Obviously we've got lots of gravel. Here's the main spillway where the water is spilling into the pond. Now I did hammer it a little bit to make it less formal. It was like a complete square and I felt it was too artificial. So I bashed it in with a hammer just to give it a bit more of naturalism with it. And obviously we've got some plants in baskets there, not obviously totally natural, but I think they're okay as it is. Over here I put some iris there, so there's a bit of muck in there because there's a bit of aquatic compost. I thought it was aquatic soil, but it's actually compost. And I just put some stones on top to try and keep that compost down, and over time the filter will clear this pond. So as you can see, it's looking really nice and I'm really impressed with it. It's fantastic. So let me know in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this. I know it's not my usual stuff, such as because I'm always reviewing camera gear, but I just wanted to give you a complete reveal video of how it's looking. So a little area I've added to the actual construction of the pond is I thought I'd put some rocks to disturb the flow of the water, just like a pooling area. So as you can see here, we've got 3 rocks, one there, 2 black ones here, and as the water flows through this area, it's like a beach area made of gravel, and the water can escape through a gap through that way, but it also means this area will be ideal for frogs and any other type of wildlife that wants access to the water but doesn't want to get into the main flow of the water. So that's just a little small touch I've done that I thought makes it look really good. So thanks for watching this video and the other videos I've been making about my small pond, the Oasis pond renovation, and please check out all the other parts that I've done on my sleeper pond as well. You might want to see that as well. So thanks for watching. Hope these videos are helpful to you guys out there, and more importantly, go out there and build your own pond. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money to a contractor to build you one, or you can build it a lot cheaper yourself. Alright, see you later. Have a nice day. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video if it helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and like the video. Thank you. Bye bye.